serving me. Now I'm around the same minds as me. I only vibrate on that frequency, and that's the way I choose to be. Now I smile through the door. I'm still learning, but I'm moving in the show, and I got tunnel vision. I have a really good feeling about this. All right, let's check to see if I am live where I'm supposed to be live, and then we will get started. Okay, let's start it. Oops. All right, it looks like I am live. And so, welcome. Actually, let me turn this down. Turn this off. So, welcome. Day 4 of the live. Let's see. I am live on Facebook. I am live on YouTube. And I may be live on Instagram. We're going to see here. I never know. Instagram is tricky. So I never actually know if I'm live on Instagram. I don't think I am, but that's okay. Facebook and YouTube, I can handle that. I was trying to do more than one platform. I'm still trying to figure out how to make that work, but that's okay. We are live on at least 2 platforms. So welcome. It is Monday and it is November. I did not go live last Friday because I was not feeling well. I actually wasn't feeling well all weekend. I was dealing with a migraine. I don't know if anyone who experiences migraines, you may know that sometimes they can be pretty harsh. So I was dealing with a pretty harsh migraine. It lasted for a couple of days, and it just didn't feel good. So anywho, but it's Monday. It is November 4th, and let me tell you, this is an exciting day for me. And it is exciting for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons being that, well, for one, I'm here. I made it to November 4th. But the other really exciting reason is because of this. And I've talked about this just a little bit on the lives that I did last week, but we're going to jump into it a lot more. So this right here is the You Are Not Your Trauma resource. So I do have a resource guide, but that's not what this is. This is the You Are Not Your Trauma Healing Journal. This is something I have been working on for over a year. And today is the day that it is finally released for the world. I cannot tell you how excited I am when I got this. This book has been with me everywhere for the past, I think, month and a half. So it went to DC with me. It was in Philly with me. It went to Houston with me. Like, if I have been there recently, this book has been right there by my side. Usually in my purse or maybe in my hand. Who knows? If I go to the doctor, it is right there because I've been going through it and just reviewing it and really just having a whole lot of excitement because this is now part of my reality. So this is actually my second book. My first one was more about, it was Stop Stopping Your Success, which is about getting rid of those limiting beliefs. But this one is a journey that I took myself, and I created it because I wanted other people to be able to have a guide, which is what I wish I would have had when I was going through my journey of healing. I didn't feel like I had like one source, one guide. I was doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And don't get me wrong, it all got me where I needed to go. It all helped me. But I decided that people needed, something with everything right there together. And that is when I started working on this. And I was actually just telling a friend the other day that I actually wrote this and I finished it last year. But the Lord spoke to me and he changed this whole thing up. Like it was supposed to be something not completely different, like somewhat, it's somewhat similar, but there were some pieces and parts that were added on that needed to be a part of it, like needed to make it closer to the journey that I actually went on and experienced. So that is what we're going to talk about tonight in this series. Real talk, real healing, real growth. This is a series that I decided to start just last week because I wanted people to really have an opportunity to talk to someone or listen or ask questions to someone who has experienced something like what they've gone through. So this is for the people who have experienced something traumatic, who have experienced something hard, who's in a stuck place in looking to grow, looking to move forward, but can't quite get there. And that's why I wanted to do this series because I feel like transparency is so important. And we talked about this a bit last week in the first part of the series. It's just that the importance of transparency, like the importance of sharing what you've been through, sharing what you've learned, sharing your mistakes, and helping someone else get through something that may be difficult for them. So, for those of you who are joining here and you do not know me, my name is Harriet Harris. I am a speaker, author, coach. I am the host of You Are Not Your Trauma podcast, and I am the founder of You Are Not Your Trauma Inc. So, You Are Not Your Trauma is a message that was given to me. Oh gosh, I guess it's close to 2 years, almost 2 years ago now. And it was a message that was given to me. God gave it to me one day in the shower. And I remember saying, okay, God, what am I supposed to do with this? Is this just for me? Or is it something that I need to share? And after a lot of thinking, a lot of prayer, I realized that it was a message that I needed to share. And so that is the journey that I have been on for quite some time now, is sharing this message because I know how important it is to understand that. Because I remember when God gave me those words, I remember like, God, why are you just not telling me this? Because I did not understand. Like I had been through decades of hurting and dealing or not dealing with my trauma. And he had never said those words to me. He'd never given me that. Right. And so, I mean, I've since learned that I wasn't ready for it then. I was not ready. I wouldn't have been able to receive it back then. I wasn't ready for it, but I am now. And I'm all about sharing that message. So, I just kind of wanted to talk briefly just about the book tonight. So, I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally get this book out there. And I just want to say a special thanks to everyone who already pre ordered your books. Some of you probably got them today. I think one person at least told me that theirs was coming today. Someone else mentioned that theirs will be here really soon. I can't remember the exact date. But for those of you who have already pre ordered your books and they're on it and it's on its way, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for going ahead and grabbing your copy. Thank you for your excitement for wanting the book like as soon as possible. So I definitely appreciate that. And for those of you who like, you know what, I need to get it, I'll tell you all about how you can get it and the special offer that I have for the book as we get through this live. So I wanted to tell you really like the importance of this book for me. And I already kind of mentioned it a little bit, but for me, because of the way that trauma impacted my life from a very young age, um, I found that it was such a long journey to get to healing for me personally. And I know everybody's stories and experiences are different, but for me, it took what feels like forever, over 3 decades, for me to deal with, process, sit with, work through the trauma. So this book was born out of that experience. It was born and created. It was all about my experience. And what I did was I wanted to, as I mentioned, create something that was going to give you or whoever purchases it a guide to what I didn't have, right? So I, as I have shared before, it was 3 decades before I was really at a place where I could heal and deal and start to heal from the trauma. Um, and I got to a point where I realized that I needed to forgive myself. Like I needed to let go of some things. Like I learned some things that needed to happen. And I began to slowly but surely, like it was not easy, um, to do them. So when I finally realized that healing was possible and that side of life where there was healing was a good thing, like it looked good, it felt better, I could breathe easier, it's less anxiety, a little less depression. Like when I got to that place in my life, I was like, honestly, I don't want anybody else to suffer, to like go through this as long as I did. Like I want them to be encouraged that you don't have like this, it can get better, like it doesn't have to stay this way, you can move forward. Like that was my goal. Like after I realized that it was possible, because I think I for a long time I probably didn't think it was possible. When I did, that is what I decided, that I wanted to help people. And so this book was written to give other people the tools, the resources, um, just the God that I did not have, that I wish I would have had it when I started my own healing journey. And so what I did was, and I've shared a little bit about this, but this book is broken down into a lot of different sections. One of them is about just information, right? Because I think when we know more, we're able to handle and do things accordingly. Like we're able to move forward with things, um, in the way that we need to once information, like knowledge is power, I think is the little statement they used to say back when I was growing up. Knowledge is power, and I think that still remains true. So I do have this book broken into different sections, and for me, one of the most powerful sections is the journaling, and it is broken down into 40 days. And the reason that is because 40 days is a sacred time, right? It symbolizes change, it symbolizes preparation, it symbolizes transition. So I broke it down into it's 40 days, but then there are 4 sections. So each section is 10 days. And those sections are broken down into awakening, exploration, transformation, and blossoming. Because those are some really important steps that you're going to go through, on that journey. Those are some very important steps that I went through on my journey, and I included them because I knew that that was a path that would be beneficial as someone is, working through, um, healing, right? So some of the other topics that the book includes is just understanding and identifying trauma, because that's important. Knowing that you've experienced and understanding what it is, understanding how it impacts your life, understanding how it affects you. All of those things are important. You're going to need to have a little bit of clarity on that. Also releasing negative patterns and embracing your self-worth. So those are some other things that are covered. And then some of the other resources that are included in the book are some guided prompts to help you start to look at and envision life in a different way, some affirmations, some different exercises, reflections, and just different tools to help you to process, heal, and transform. Because at the end of the day, there is going to be a change when you heal, when you go through that process, and you take that journey. Transformation is what's going to happen, because you don't want to be the same person. You don't want to think the same way. You don't want to act the same way. You don't want to believe the same things. You don't want to be the same when you're done. So, transformation is going to be something that you will definitely get out of it. And it also allows you, and this is another really good thing, it allows you to heal at your own pace. You hear people say, Healing is a journey, but I'm gonna be honest, I wanted to heal fast. I want to just boom, let's do it. Boom, let's get in there. Boom, let's see. But that is not, it don't work that way, y'all. It doesn't. But it's also not a one size fits all. So the activities and the resources and the tools that are in there are there to allow you to do this however it best fits you. So, there are some things that people will tell you about healing, or people will kind of put out there. And I think, and I'm so grateful that we are in a time now where this isn't as much of a focus as it used to be. But I think a lot of us grew up, especially if you're my age, like born in like the 80s. I was born in 80, but the 80s, maybe even the 70s and before. I think if you were born during that time, maybe even some of y'all 90s babies will probably have heard some of those things. It's just that, like, okay, healing, if you want to heal, just move on, just move on. That doesn't work. Nope, doesn't work. Another one, time heals all wounds. That's not true. Time does not heal everything. You have to go through it. And the other one is that only therapy. Now, therapy, do not get me wrong, therapy is so important. Therapy is such an important tool. I have done therapy several different times. So, I mean, I'm telling you, I am very much an advocate for therapy. But while it is powerful, there are other tools that support you until you're ready or even after you're done. One of the things that I really felt like when I was writing this is that we've all had some sort of trauma, right? I mean, you just can't live, especially in America, and not experience some sort of trauma. Um, but it's what we do, how we process, how we handle it is where I think is so important. So when I was developing this book, when I was creating it, writing it, all of the thinking of all the pieces that I wanted to be a part of it and to help to guide you. One of the things I thought about, and this was a time where people were doing a lot of shadow work, right? A lot of shadows, bringing up the shadows, and that's important. It is important to understand what got you where you are. It's important to like understand the experiences. It's important to process them, all of that. But then what? So I wanted to help you transition into the and then what. We don't want to stay stuck like, okay, I got the shadows, I know I experienced trauma, okay, I'm just gonna sit in that. No, we need you to move forward. I need you to move forward to see life in what it truly is. It there is beauty in this life that we are given, right? We get one life, we get one time to get it right, and there's some gonna be some ups and downs. But the important part, in my opinion, is to not to live it to the best of our abilities. See that there are limitless possibilities. There are limitless possibilities available to each of us. However, our experiences will dictate whether or not we're able to reach those, because if we don't believe we can, we won't. If we don't believe that they're out there, we won't go after them. So, anyway, all of that is a part of what pushed me to create this book the way that I did. Um, so what I'm doing now, so since the book is out, it is available to you. You can go and grab it on Amazon. You can go to healingjournal.youarenotyourtrauma.com. It'll take you right to the page to order it. But what I'm also doing is, because I want you to get the most out of this book, I am offering complimentary coaching sessions. So when you purchase the book, you can go to my website, or the book's website, which is youarenotyourtraumahealingjournal.com. You go there, you'll see a form on the website that tells you to put your name and your email in, and then you'll get a link to book a complimentary coaching call. So we'll do a call together to really talk through where you are and what you're looking to do, and then I can share with you how the book that you've purchased can support you, and if there are any other ways that I can support you as well. So that is something I'm offering. I'm only offering that for a limited time, probably throughout this week, since this is the launch week. But once you purchase the book and you have your proof of purchase, you can submit that form and shoot me a quick email to contact@harrietmharris.com. Once I get the email, I'll send you one back with the link and you can book your complimentary coaching call. So if you have something that you've been wanting to ask, if you have something on your heart that not quite sure how to deal with, you want to figure it out, you want to kind of talk through it, let's do it. Let's chat. And we will just talk about what I can do to support you and how you can what some other things that you can do to be supported as you are going through your journey of healing. So again, when you purchase the book, just take a screenshot of your completed order, send it to me via email, and then what I'll do is I'll send you that link. So you can go to my website. Again, You Are Not Your Trauma Healing Journal. That is the website for the book itself. You go there, you can actually order from there and submit the form from there. And then just send that email to contact@harrietmharris.com. And, there you go. You have done what you need to do to book that complimentary coaching call with me. So, y'all, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the impact. I'm excited to hear what you think. I'm excited to hear how it helped you. Um, my hope and desire is that it helps you taking these steps help you the way it helped me. So, um, I'm just happy, y'all. I'm just excited. So we'll go into our Q&A. I'll do a quick check because I did make it to a couple of different platforms today. So I'll see if there are any questions. Boop, boop, boop. Let's see here. Let me go to my page and see if there are any questions. Oops, let me turn that down. All right, let's see. Don't forget, we don't need everyone in our business. It's good for book clubs. As far as the healing journal, is it good for book clubs and young adults? That is a very good question. I've actually been thinking about that. Yes, I definitely think it's a good. Well, let me break it into two answers. One, is it good for book clubs? I think it could absolutely be good for book clubs. It would definitely depend on how you walk through it. I've been actually thinking about pulling some people together to do it together as we address it. It, I would say, do it with people that you're comfortable with, especially if you're going to share your responses. Make sure you're in a book club that's a trusted environment, because there's only certain people that you want to walk through. Community is important when you're healing, but you got to be connected to the right people. So yes, to answer that question, yes, I think it would be great for a book club. And the second part of the question is it good for young adults? Absolutely. This book is good for anyone who has experienced something that is traumatic, that they've been having difficulty dealing with, bad experiences. It doesn't have to be quote unquote what the world considers traumatic. And actually, I talk about that a little bit in the book. Is how personal trauma is, right? It's going to be different for every person. So I say, if you've had a bad experience, something you're stuck in, something you are looking for a way out of, or you're struggling to see, yourself out of it, even if it's about self-doubt, like, I think this book is good for any of those situations. So to answer the question, yes, I do think it is good for young adults. So great question, and thank you for that. Um, what would you suggest for young adults trying to seek healing and don't believe in therapy or scared to be judged? Whew. Okay, so this is a good question. Young adults, I'm going to read the question again. What would you suggest for young adults trying to seek healing and don't believe in therapy or scared to be judged? First of all, I'm going to tell you something that my grandmother used to tell me. Lord rest her soul, she's no longer with us. But to be a Black woman in the time that she was growing up, she heavily believed in therapy. And she used to say, if God, like, if God blesses these people, like if He has put these people on earth to do this job, then why wouldn't we trust them? I mean, you think about anything else that's hurting. When your foot is hurting, you're gonna go to a foot doctor. When your heart is hurting, you're gonna go to a heart doctor. When um your stomach is hurting, you may start off with, for each of these, you're going to start off with a certain type, like your main doctor, your PCP. But in the end, it may manifest into something where you need an actual doctor. My point being, when something's wrong with your teeth, you go to the dentist. When something's wrong with your body, you go to the doctor. If something's wrong with your mind, you go to somebody that can help you, whether that is a therapist, a counselor, a coach, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. It depending on where you are in your journey. If you, I don't care your age. I really, I don't. Your age doesn't matter. If you need the help, do what you have to do to get the help that you need. It doesn't always have to be. I'm going to back up because I'm going to say, depending on what you're dealing with, right? Depending on, if you're dealing with something where you feel like your life is in danger, you're contemplating life or death, absolutely, please go and talk to somebody. Go and talk to somebody as soon as possible. If you're a person who just says, you know what, I don't want to tell somebody my business, or let me make sure I'm getting the rest of it. Yeah, I don't want to tell somebody my business, or you are worried about being judged. These professionals are put into place for a reason. They have their oaths that are taken. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of them are, I don't think any of them, I'll say, are in doing the work that they're doing or in the position that they're in just to know your business. They are in it because it is in their heart and they want to help you. And I know that isn't always easy, especially if you come from like a place, or a phase of life or a time of life where people have judged you. Don't let what someone else thinks or says about you stop you from getting the help that you need. So I hope that answered your question. Let me see if they put anything else in here. Okay, it looks like that did. So I hope that answered your question. I do encourage you, if that is something that you're concerned about, um, find the right resource. And I will say this, when it comes to a therapist or a counselor, a coach, a psychiatrist, psychologist, when it comes to getting someone to support you in your mental health, make sure you find someone that you're comfortable with. It is okay to go in and interview them. Like, it is okay to go and ask them questions about them to decide if this is the person that I want to share my story with, my experiences with. Um, Make sure that you're comfortable. Like, trust your gut. Like, I'm a big person, a big proponent of trusting my gut. Like, when I go to see a therapist, like if I'm in a new place or if I'm starting up therapy, I have gone in and just first I will look at their social media, if they have it, or their website. I'll read about them. I'll try to find out as much as I can about them, because they're about to get everything about me, so I need to know what I need to know about them. But don't be afraid to go in and say, you know what, I need to know a little bit more about how you help people. Like, ask them questions. If you've experienced trauma, ask them, are you trauma informed? And that is super important, because working with someone who is not trauma informed and you have experienced trauma will not help you the way you need it, right? So you need someone who is trauma informed to help you deal with what you are experiencing, and help you get on the other side. So if you are someone who is looking for help and you've been through trauma, ask those questions. Don't be afraid, because this is for you. So it's important for you to be comfortable, for you to feel like you're talking and working with the right person. So great question. But yeah, yeah. Okay. Any other questions? I'm gonna check a different platform and just make sure there are no questions on YouTube. I think that was from Facebook. So let's see what we got. Okay, so no questions there. But if you decide that you have questions later, feel free to ask. Drop them in the comments or send me a private message or ooh, excuse me. Um, or you can email me. Contact at harrietmharris.com. Feel free to use that email if you have any questions. So thank you so much for those of you who joined tonight. I hope you have been enjoying this series as much as I have been enjoying it. Again, You Are Not Your Trauma Healing Journal is available. It is available on Amazon and a variety of other websites, online websites. So you can go there, order you a copy, and get started. Learn what you need to learn, understand how trauma has been affecting you so that you can stop being so hard on yourself. I think, honestly, for me, one of the reasons I'm really glad that I started to learn more about how trauma affected me because it helped me to not be so upset and angry with myself. Understanding that some of the characteristics, the behaviors that I have had, that they were a result of unprocessed trauma. And that was, in a sense, out of my hands until I dealt with it, right? So I think that that part is important. And that is exactly why I included that in that book, because I know the impact that made for me. So get the book, healingjournal.youarenotyourtrauma.com. If you want to get that complimentary coaching session, there's a quick little form. You just put your name and email address and send your proof of purchase. And that is on the website, youarenotyourtraumahealingjournal.com. So thank you so much. If you have more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, like I said, or send me a quick email. I appreciate you guys. As you can tell, I finally got my technology under control, mostly because I borrowed somebody else's laptop. We're not going to call our names. Don't tell Keisha Harris that I have his laptop. Um, he's asleep. But anywho, but that's what worked. So, hey, we got it on 2 platforms. Maybe next time we'll get it on a 3rd one. Who knows? But for now, thank you guys. Have a great night. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.